What do you see in later in the draft? What areas do you think they address? Again, they have a fairly high pick in the second round. What do you think they address in second and third rounds?
Yeah, so I'm not too proud to share. I've kind of been nerding out on the Draft Network's draft machine, just trying to figure out how this draft plays out. And one thing I keep getting stuck on is that pick 41. It depends on the simulation, of course, but this linebacking class gets really thin really fast. Of course, that's a position the Browns need to address. If it's not Simmons somehow in the first round and they go offensive tackle, they need to find a linebacker and safety in this draft. There are some safeties I think they can find in the third and fourth round, but 41 might not be high enough to land a guy like Patrick Queen out of LSU or Ken Murray out of Oklahoma. And these guys are getting late first round, early second round grades. Now, could they stay at 10 and then trade up late in the first round even, or move up in the second round to grab one of those linebackers? I think that'd be a home run move for the Browns. And if you can land one of the top tackles in the draft and the second or third best linebacker in this draft, the first two rounds of this draft are going to be exciting. And then after that, you're looking at skill positions like wide receiver. It's a deep class, one of the deepest in years. You could find a third, fourth round guy to not only solidify that number 3 pass catching role, which was a mess all year in Cleveland last year, but also you start grooming a potential heir to both Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. By all reports, they're going to be here next year, but things change fast in the NFL. You don't know how long that's going to last. So I think it goes offensive tackle, linebacker, safety, and then you got to find a receiver or tight end on the offensive side.
Well, you mentioned, Higgins will leave probably via free agency, kind of fell out of favor with Freddie Kitchens. Right. Not sure why that was, but it is what it is. Who are some safeties that you like that might be around later in the draft for the Browns?
Yeah, so for people that know me, I'm from Minnesota, so I hope this doesn't come off as a Minnesota bias thing. But Antoine Winfield Jr., Golden Gopher, really has a cool story. He was there for really the complete turnaround of the Gophers program. He was there when they weren't winning games, thought about transferring, but he stuck it out with P.J. Fleck and went on to have the best season that the Gophers have seen at safety in a very long time, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year or Defensive Back of the Year. He's a guy who, because of his size, he really is only a 5'8", 5'9" player, but runs well. His dad, of course, Antoine Winfield Sr., Ohio State Buckeye standout and longtime NFL pro, both with the Bills and the Vikings. So he comes from the cloth of a professional and had the big year this year, junior season, to show why he is a rising prospect on these GM's boards, I'm assuming. But he's a guy in that sweet spot, second or third round that the Browns could find and plug in. Best case scenario, he's an Earl Thomas type guy, smaller, but he has the speed to cover the field and the instincts to know where the ball's going.